All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, it is such a pity that a nation blessed with everything required to be one of the greatest nations in the world has been reduced to a laughing stock. Not because harnessing our potential is a mysterious task, not because how to make our nation work is the hardest puzzle in the world, but because many of us have allowed other interests to blind us. Interests like tribe, religion, and pecuniary gains, bribes, and contracts. The result is what we have today, a nation where civil servants cannot feed their families properly, not to mention the unemployed, who form 70% of the youth population. A nation where businesses are folding up daily. A nation with the highest infant mortality rate in the world. A nation where kidnapping has become the order of the day. Bandits and Fulani herdsmen beheading farmers at will, causing farmers to flee their farms until hunger totally enveloped the entire nation. And just as Peter Obi said, hunger and insecurity don't know tribe and religion. Every tribe is feeling it today. And hours ago, one of TINUBU's biggest supporters cried out. He criticized the failure of the TINUBU regime. Before he could finish speaking, some Southwest scholars that backed this administration all because of tribalism also came out and began to blast TINUBU. And before we could say jack, many supporters of this administration from the Southwest came out to lament the cluelessness, the failure of the administration, and other well-meaning Nigerians began to react in various forms. Before I show you the outburst by one of TINUBU's biggest Southwest supporters, the position of Southwest scholars on this administration, and how TINUBU supporters blasted him, let me quickly show you this video.
So what I'm saying on the outside is that there need to be an injection, not just of energy, not just of passion, but of creative governance models, both in terms of presidential, strategic communication, which sometimes is very awful, and sometimes again in terms of the quality of advice the president gets that reflects in terms of the kind of policy environment we find. Okay. Buhari for 8 years talked about palliatives, which is a very disgusting word.
And this government
the term palliatives is disgusting for every self-respecting Nigerian citizen. It's disgusting and it's annoying and it's insulting. We already shared money for 8 years and people were much more poorer and poorer as more money were being shared. You don't give people fish, you teach them how to fish. You don't just get money and say 20 million Nigerians were given palliative. Who did the social register? Who computed the data? What purpose would that money serve? To buy beer and drink? Or to chase a woman or chase a man or whatever it is? So you have to find a proper way to create livelihood for people, sustainable livelihood. So the earlier this government begins to lower and drop this issue of palliatives, as if they're doing people a favor by sharing rice, 3 cups of rice, you share it in the polythene bag and give them, or giving state governors 20 trucks. 20 trucks for how many cities? 3-4 million people, 5 million people. What would they get out of it? Have a cup of rice and say, oh, share palliatives. You are just distributing, heightening, and intensifying poverty. That kind of policy is no policy. It should be dropped.
Okay, so what can this government do? Because if we allow a second protest to return, it may not be good for us. Because we saw towards the third day of the last protest, we saw what happened, and we saw what people did on the streets, especially from the northern part of the country.
You see, when you talk about the political state, let me repeat it again, without going into specific details. Forces converged to help put you where you are. If those forces dissolve or are dissipating into multiple estuaries and inchoate directions, that means power is evaporating rapidly. Power should be concentrated. But with the end of power thesis means power instead is already trembling and delicate. In this instant, the nothing coalition that put you together seems to be dissolving. And the Eastern Front seems to have recoiled. That's why end hunger protest didn't happen. Not because they're happy, but simply they feel that they are alienated from the Nigerian state. That means you have not even captured the imagination. They will protest against you. They don't even believe in the essence of the state itself, not totally protesting against it. You still have to convince them to be part of this conversation. The South Side is neither here nor there. So where do you have? You have to reconstitute this. It's not my duty to tell them how to reconstitute. They are not in that government. I'm not in the party. I'm a patriot.
You heard that. That was Professor Udenta spitting facts there. For 8 years, the Buhari-led APC government had no other response to the country's economic challenges other than sharing palliatives. TINUBU took over and began doing the same thing. When we say the APC is a cost to this country, we know exactly what we mean. And now, Nigerians, including many who supported this administration, are rising to condemn it. And the professor pointed out rightly that some northerners who perhaps because of religion backed the TINUBU ticket have now melted away from it. And so power is melting away from them. And he said Southeast does not even recognize the regime enough to protest against it. What a way to describe it. What a disastrous reality for this regime. The regime has completely lost it, and it is only a matter of time before Nigerians do away with it. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at that outburst from one of TINUBU's biggest supporters from the Southwest, 94-year-old senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola. Look at how the papers reported it. You are turning Nigerians into beggars with your palliatives, Afe Babalola tells TINUBU reporters. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola, has expressed dissatisfaction over how Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is turning hard-working Nigerians into beggars by creating and sustaining the environment for his government to keep on giving them handouts in form of palliatives, which keeps them in poverty and compels them to depend on him for their survival. Babalola made the point at his university in Ado-Ekiti, where he also expressed support for the agitation of the patriots for a new constitution. He stated this while addressing the Prestige Sisters League, who visited the campus to thank him, an occasion he used to air his views on the recent hunger protest, stressing that everyone knows there is hunger in the country. Those who are complaining about hunger are doing so sincerely. They are hungry. A hungry man can go to any length to show his anger. We do not need anybody to tell us about hunger in the country. The protest was genuine and the government should listen to them, Babalola said. The duty of the government is the welfare of the people. The problem we have now is that people cannot move freely. They have abandoned the farms. People are being killed on their farms and everybody wants to stay where they are safe. It is because the government has failed in this regard that we have hunger. It is wrong for the government to be sharing gari, beans, and rice as palliatives. They are turning the people into beggars. The government that is giving the people rice and beans is leading us to poverty. The government is discouraging people from working, whereas the government must provide the people enabling environments for people to work and feed themselves. You heard that. Now, coming from Pa Afe Babalola, senior advocate of Nigeria, this is a huge blow to the TINUBU camp, as the 94-year-old is one of the most influential elders in the Southwest. And as soon as Pa Afe said this, thousands of TINUBU supporters gathered to lament the failure of this administration. Let's take some of their lamentations. This tweet here by Idifu Idinla says, "You all should better start talking ASAP before it will be too late, because the silence of our elders in the Southwest has really dented our image. We need more of you all to come out blazing as soon as possible." That is it. And this tweet by Falola Shegun says, "Àwọn àgbà tó ní ọpọlọ ní, kì í ṣe àwọn àgbà oníjẹkújẹ, àwọn àgbà òfò, àwọn àgbà bámúbámú." God bless you for saying this. Nigerians are not beggars. Shegun is saying this is how elders should speak, not all those other useless elders that only know their tummies telling the youths to be patient. And Toby here says, "Abio, ewoni palliative o shikakiri, very useless person, thief and drug baron." Oh! And another TINUBU supporter, Awa here says, I just don't really understand this palliative matter again. Oh, how long will you keep doing that? Haba. Well, this was what you signed up for, Awa. But Titilayo Ogunmeru here has reserved some blames for Pa Afe Babalola, and he wrote, "Are you already tired of giving out palliatives yourself? I believe it is your conspiracies that allowed a crook to be president. This is your gain. Or else, how do you explain your silence when all the facts point out that he doesn't possess integrity to be it?" Titilayo is saying Afe Babalola should have spoken out vehemently against the APC. But Habiba here says at least he is speaking out against the harsh policies and stupid palliative system that is not making any impact. Instead, it is creating more woes for the people. I hope more Yoruba elders will come out to tell TINUBU the truth. He is not doing well. And Edward Anjorin says, yes, how many people benefited in the so-called palliatives? The main solution is to return fuel back to 400 naira per litre. Inflation will reduce and hunger will go. Poor people crying daily. Let Nigeria breathe. Many houses are divided. Couples separated. And in other news, Ondo State scholars ask TINUBU Governor Ayedatiwa to end senseless killings in Akoko communities, deploy security personnel. The Ondo State Scholars Arena for Development Initiative has urged TINUBU and Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa to take decisive action to end these senseless killings and ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens in the country. The group asserted that the duty of government is to ensure peaceful coexistence, saying they expect nothing less from the leadership. The statement read in part, "We, the member of the Ondo State Scholars Arena for Development Initiative, are compelled to express our utmost consternation and dismay at the incessant and egregious killings of innocent citizens in Oba Akoko, Ondo State. The insouciant attitude of the government towards the heinous crime is utterly reprehensible and warrants immediate attention. The recent extrajudicial execution of Sunday Ayeni, a 34-year-old farmer from Oba Akoko Southwest LGA, by suspected herdsmen is a stark reminder of the government's dereliction of the duty in protecting its citizens. The subsequent attacks in other Akoko settlements have created a climate of fear and panic, necessitating urgent action from Your Excellency. We are perplexed by the government's taciturnity on this matter, as evidenced by the absence of any statement condemning these arbitrary killings on the official handles of your media aides. The protest by half-naked women in the Akoko Southwest LGA Ondo North is a testament to the desperation and anguish of the affected communities." They said a lot of other things, and they rounded up by saying, "We urge Your Excellency to take decisive action to end these senseless killings and ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens. The duty of government is to ensure peaceful coexistence, and we expect nothing less from your leadership." Now, notice that they pointed out that they didn't even say anything about the killings on any of their official handles. This is the situation. They don't care. And this is exactly what we're trying to point out to everybody, last year during the campaigns, that the insurgency, this level of insecurity itself was occasioned by the formation of the APC. Nigeria was never experiencing all these kind of things before this evil association was formed. So asking them to come and put an end to it, I don't think it makes any sense. Because these guys, they are the originators of this level of insecurity. Nigerians must begin to tell themselves the truth. How many letters have been written? They have written and written and written. Peace accord, everything. They don't do them. Yet, insecurity in the Southwest continues to worsen. They will never be able to rid themselves of all those troubles until they get rid of the APC. Even as a nation, I keep saying it, Nigerians, we are going nowhere unless we come together, jettison our sentiments, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some Ogbonge political news we wanna go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.